11.5. In these sections, we're going to look at solving system of nonlinear equations. Okay, so we're going to be using the substitution method and elimination method to solve it. So on the test, like, I may ask you a specific method to do. So quickly review substitution method, right? Substitution method, you basically pick one equation and solve one variable from that equation, and then substitute into another equations so that it will become one variable equation and you can solve that. So if you look at the example one, we can sort of predict, like, how many solutions that we can get by graphically. So let's take a look at on this one first. So the first equation is a linear, which is a line. The second equation is a parabola opening up and down, right? So what happened is this is a case that you can have. So if parabola and a line, they can meet at what, 2 points. So there could be two solutions, or a parabola where a line only touch one point of the parabola, so it could be one solution, or a line never touch the parabola, which is no solution. So these are the three things that it can happen on this system of nonlinear equations just by knowing your graph from your conic sections. Okay, so let's try to look for the solutions of this by substitution method. So you really need to write down a very systematic and organized way, right? Otherwise, I won't be able to follow you. So first, we're going to try to take a look at equation x plus y equal to 4. And I'm going to solve for the variable either x or either y. But my choice in this case will be solving for the variable y, so I can plug it into here and I don't need to square anything, because if you solve for x and then plug it into here, then you're gonna have to square it. That's not a good idea. You can do that, but not ideal choice. So solving for y, that will become y is equal to 4 minus x. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna substitute into the second equation, which is x squared plus y equal to 2. Remember, you always copy down the original equation first before you do anything. Now I'm going to substitute the y with 4 minus x. So substituting y with 4 minus x, that is equal to 2. Now rearrange a little bit because we are solving for quadratic equation now. So negative x squared minus x plus, because of you subtract 2 to both sides, instead of 4, it becomes 2 equals 0. Factor negative out, so it'll be x squared plus x minus 2 equal to 0, which give us factor both situations, which is negative times x plus 2 x minus 1 equal to 0. That, using the zero factor property, x plus 2 equal to 0 and x minus 1 equal to 0. So we got x is equal to negative 2 and x is equal to 1. Now we have two situations, so we're going to use each x value to find out the corresponding y value. So substitute into this equations y equal to 4 minus x. So that will be equal to, so I got x right here. That will be equal to 4 minus negative 2, which will become 6. So now you got the x coordinate and y coordinate. So I need to put it in order pair. My one solution will be negative 2 and 6. Now I'm going to work on my second solution when x is equal to 1. Then that will be y equal to 4 minus x. I'm going to substitute into that equation, which is y is equal to 4 minus 1. I got y equal to 3. This gives us our second solutions, which is 1 comma 3. So you know, it fall into one of the graphical interpretation that I give it to you earlier, right? So let's take a look at on the second example. So similarly, in this case, I'm gonna solve for one of the variable, right? So I will pick 3x minus y equal to 3. And definitely I want to solve for y because I don't want to have any fractions. We talked about that back in chapter 4. So subtracting 3 on both sides, that's what I got. And then finally divide everything by negative, which was going to become 3x minus 3, dividing by negative 1. So now I'm going to substitute this result into the second equations, which is another equation, 9x squared plus y squared equal to 9. Substituting for y with this 3x, right? Substituting y with 3x minus 3, and that will allow us to continue solving the problems, which is 9x squared plus, using the shortcut formula, first square, 9x squared, minus first time last and double. 3 times 3 is 9, double it will be 18x, and then plus last square, which is 3 squared, is 9, equal to 9. So now if I continue, that will be 18x squared minus 18x, subtracting 9 on both sides becomes 0, so therefore equal to 0. Finally, this will help us to factor, which is 18x, the GCF, so x minus 1 left, equal to 0. So I got x is equal to 0, or x minus 1 equal to 0, which give us two possible solutions. Again, right? So x is equal to 0. Now I have to work on that part to get my y value. So that means I'm going to substitute into y equal to 3x minus 3, and with x is 0, so 3 times 0 minus 3, so my y is equal to negative 3. So I got an order pair solutions, which is 0, 3. So to get another solutions, I'm going to substitute x equal to 1 into this equations. So y equal to 3 times 1 minus 3, which is y is equal to 0. So I got 1, 0 for the other solutions. So we got two solutions right here. Now, let's continue. Let's try to go back and then check like we did before, right? So this equations, after I divided by 9 on both sides, that will become the ellipse. So I have ellipse, and this is a line, so there's a few situations can happen because a line can pass through ellipse at 2 points, so therefore two solutions. That's our situations right now. And a line can touch ellipse only once, so there will be one solution, or no solution when the line never touch ellipse. So we are in this situations right here. So this is a graphical interpretations what's happening when we solve it, and then those solutions order pairs are. So finally, let's move on to the next problem. So in this case, I already have one linear equation solved for y, and then one equation solved for y also. So I'm going to use y equal to 2x minus 3, plug it into the next equation, which is x squared equal to y. So I'm going to substitute y with 2x minus 3. Okay, let me write in different color. 2x minus 3. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for this quadratic equation. So x squared minus 2x plus 3 equal to 0. And this is not factorable, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the quadratic formula. Right? X is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Remember, those a, b, c are coming from these values right here, right? So this gives me, I forgot my negative sign right there. So negative and negative become positive 2, square plus or minus square root of full minus 12 over 2. That will be 2 plus or minus square root of negative 8 over 2. So the problematic part now is this. This is the complex number. Okay, this is a complex number. So in a nonlinear system of equations, we cannot have a complex solution. So therefore, in this case, is no solutions case. And in the next video lecture, we're going to look at elimination method.